All right, thank you everyone for joining me today for this workshop on Module 2. Today we're going to talk about why do we need goals? What are goals? Why do we need them? What's the purpose and how can we successfully implement the goals? I'm your host, Shawn Patrick Moloney. I want to talk to you a little bit about what I do. I'm an entrepreneur, broker owner over at Momentum Realty, also the owner of Thoth Company, a consulting company, as well as a podcast host. I decided this year because of COVID-19 and everything going on, I wanted to do something to give back to the community. So I paired with the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce and put together the this workshop for you guys. Sorry. My social media accounts are listed below. Feel free to reach out to me in any way and definitely go over there and give me a follow if you would. All right, let's get started. So why do we need goals? Well, the reason we need goals is to be able to measure our success. Without goals, we just say things that are arbitrary, like I want to sell a lot of something. I want to do the most of something. I want to have the best of something. But when it ultimately comes down to measuring it, how do you know that you accomplished the best or whatever it was you were trying to accomplish without having an actual goal? So instead of me saying, as a real estate broker, I want to sell 10 houses, I just say I want to sell a lot of houses. How do I measure that? So if I said I want to sell 10 houses a year, I know that I better get working if I'm on month two and I haven't sold a house yet. Where if I say I want to sell a lot, well, I can still sell a lot throughout the rest of the year, but I don't have a measure to where my success stands. So I'm actually not going to find the success. So don't be afraid to set goals. Goals are a measure to your success. And now we talked about this subject before, but smart thinking, right? So we have specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So yeah, I do understand we've done it. So that's the big thing, right? Is this is such an important concept that it actually has to be put in more than one time because you have to get it really fully into your brain as far as the understanding of what this really means, like specific. You're actually giving an actual requirement, measurable. So it's, say in houses sold or in, dollars earned or in hours spent or in years retained, attainable. It's okay to say a huge goal, but take the time to think it out and plan it out. And we'll talk about that coming up. But think about planning it out and making sure that it is attainable because ultimately, especially if you're setting goals for other people, setting a goal that is never attainable can lead to almost a problem in where you continue to lose employees or you continue to have people that feel down about their jobs. And the reason being is that they never make their goals, which can be depressing feeling. So you want to set goals that are actually attainable and set lots of them so you can hit milestones and continue to work your way up. Relevant. So sometimes in companies, we get so full of ourselves that we stop paying attention to things that don't matter. We watch every single factor and figure and piece of data that passes us by, but we want to make sure what we're watching is relevant. And then time bound. Like I said, I don't want to say like, oh, I just want to sell 12 houses. I want to say I want to sell 12 houses in a year, or I want to say I want to sell 12 houses in a month. But setting it by a time bound actual goal, we now again create the need to find success or failure and the idea of if we don't do what we said we're going to do by when we said we were going to do it, we actually didn't create the success we thought we were going to. So I want to talk about setting large goals. I know I just almost talked backwards of this because you're thinking, okay, well, you just said this, but let's break it down and talk about why large goals are important and how large goals work out and really what it means to have a large goal in the full aspect of it, not just the idea of, okay, well, I have these big goals, but like, what does it truly mean? So first off, if you shoot for the moon and you miss, you're somewhere out in the stars. What does that mean? Well, when you shoot for a big goal and you're reaching for it, you're still going to hit a huge amount of sales even if you don't get it. So understanding that that isn't failure, understanding that that's just not making the goal at that time, right? Next, setting small goals limits your mindset, right? So you get into this mindset of, okay, well, I reached the goal and great, I'm done for the year because I already hit my 12 houses. That's a risk that you take. So when you do hit goals, you also want to think, about actually, kind of resetting a goal, like setting a new goal, a new milestone to keep yourself going and motivated. But setting small ones can be a big problem as far as just overall making it to the high levels of achievement. Setting small goals can lead to being too relaxed and too comfortable and never be comfortable. So remember, like in life, as soon as you feel really comfortable, like where you're like, okay, I sold enough, this is a good year, this is a lot of work, but it was good. That can lead to suddenly you realize you're not doing enough forward work, and one of your competitors, whatever business you're in, sees you on your heels and they move in and they take your business. So getting comfortable in business and not constantly looking to adapt, grow, and move forward can be deadly to the overall workings of your company. And then spending time outside your comfort level will help you grow. I know you guys have heard this a million times, everyone from Tony Robbins to whoever, but understanding that when you're comfortable, when you're inside your zone, you're really not going to be growing because say circle of friends. We go to the same people, we hang out with them. They're the ones that, okay, it's not that big of a deal that you didn't make your goal. You can go next time harder. Versus people that are like, yeah, it's okay that you didn't hit your goal, but what do you think you could have done differently, right? So we're looking at it in more of a problem solver way. But again, people don't always want to get out of their comfort zone to where someone's willing to speak to them. They want someone that just confides with them and says, it's okay, sweetie. You didn't make your goal. Next year's going to be another one. Instead of saying, why didn't you, not in a negative fashion, but again, just getting outside your comfort zone, talking with people you normally wouldn't, all that, and actually growing your business all come into one thing. It all feeds each other, and it's just opportunity. Seeing opportunity in every conversation, seeing opportunity in every day in life is what's going to lead to a great, successful business. Now, how to manage your goals. So it's important to remember to have them, but you kind of want to manage them. Like as the year goes on, you want to kind of pay attention. So we talked last week. If you haven't watched the workshop from last week, we talked last week about something known as KPIs. So you see down at the bottom, there's an asterisk that says AKA KPIs or key performance indicators from last week's episode. Okay. What they are measures. They're measures of different important things that you need to watch the overall marketplace for. No matter what business you're in, you have different ones of these. You have to figure out yours. So if you haven't watched the episode from last week, definitely jump back and go grab that because that's going to go way more into KPIs than I am here. But you want to manage your goals by time. You want to manage your goals by categories. You want to manage your goals by divisions of your company. You want to manage your goals by sales volume. So you want to find what matters to your business and manage them in actual little quadrants that pay attention to very specific things. So that way there, each and every one of your goals is unique to the actual place that's working on it, but also they're all part of the bigger picture. So we break them down so that we can understand them in each division. And then when management or whoever looks at them, or if you are all of the above, you do all of them, then you go in and you log into your platform and you take a look at how the business is doing. When you're watching the correct key point indicators and stuff, you can see, okay, we are not on track to hit our goal because it's been 2 months and our sales volume is only up 7%. It's supposed to be up 20%, and our marketing costs are up. And you got to look at all of it right away. When you have that all set up, you're going to say to yourself, oh, there's the problem. We need to deal with this right away. We can't keep spending $10,000 a month on the billboard and no one in the restaurant seats. We can't just keep continuing to pound the TV advertisement when no one is showing up from the TV advertisements to buy our product. We find these things out very quickly when we are watching over our KPIs, but when we're not, it's when we are looking at the end of the year wondering where all our profit went. It's like driving a car all the while only looking in the rearview mirror. You're going to end up with a lot of dents on it, and you're going to see the damage after it happens. You want to be the person looking out the front window and out the mirror and paying attention. So getting your KPIs in order and getting them all set up is going to make it so that you find that level of success that you look into instead of just being another small business that just is a job. It's really taxing, and you don't go in there and do well and continue to grow. Next up, so What if you don't reach your goal? I wanted to talk about this one, and I'm a big fan of energy, and I'm not big on putting in negative energy into the environment, but it is important to talk about what what do you do if you miss your goal? Well, first off, don't worry about it. Like I said to you earlier, it's not that I'm telling you to go talk to your mom or uncle or cousin and get that, hey, I did good enough speech from them. I'm saying don't worry because now it's time to learn. So when we don't reach our goal, what happens? We get to learn. We learn what didn't work. We learn what did work. We learn what we need to do more of. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the data to break it down. If you've been tracking your KPIs, you've been doing everything you told you, and you have a system, you're going to be able to go break into that data. You're going to go say to yourself, okay, when I buy this, this happens. When I do this happens. So that's going to give you those key points to figure out how do we boost performance. So not reaching your goals sometimes is, better to have happen earlier in the game than later in the game. Even though it seems like the opposite, it's nicer to take a fail early when you're doing small things and the fail wasn't that hard than when you're doing a huge thing and you fail and people are just absolutely miserably angry with you and you do damage to your business. So be okay with failing, but also know that, it's just part of the game and the idea of breaking data down, checking it out, seeing what works, and making the next move. So another thing is this is why we broke down goals to smaller time frames, right? So instead of looking back and saying, oh geez, last year we didn't make that sales goal, we're going to have monthly sales goals that we're going to watch, because when we're off at monthly, we know our annual is probably not going to be on, right, unless we have some miracle month. But how are we going to have a miracle month? For certain industries there is a miracle month. Maybe it'd be Christmas and New Year's and all that is your big thing. It could be that you have a Easter candy business. It could be that you do Thanksgiving. It could be that you do any of these different businesses and you have a miracle month, but that's not usual. So even when you have that, you still got to pay attention. And when you have that, you probably have to break it down to something like weekly sales to make sure that you're on par with what you should be doing and making sure that you are paying attention to everything. But small breakdowns really help out big time, especially when you're managing a team. When you're managing a team, it can be really important because that way there you can say to them, look where we are, look where we should be, look how this is going, we need to make moves. Because if you don't show them on the regular, and you hit them over the head at the end of the year that we missed huge, it hurts people's feelings. People would much rather hear weekly that, hey, we gotta step it up, guys, than to find out that what they thought was hard work and success. Because remember, the employees don't always see what the actual outcome of the money is and how much is needed. And oftentimes they think business owners make a lot more money than they actually do. So they think you're doing awesome when sometimes you may not be. So going over the goals with them and going over them in a small time frame can really help everybody better understand what's trying to be done by the business. And then adjusting the goals based on your findings. I think we have hit on this subject quite a bit on this episode, but I really want to just continue to beat it because the idea of like adjustment and the fact of failure is okay is so crucial. So crucial. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, a lot of people talk about entrepreneurship and the idea of it and, self-starter and so on and so forth. But the big one to always remember that is like true of entrepreneurs is the idea of being the person who makes decisions. You're a decision maker. You're not the type of person that sits around wondering what the next person's going to do or how it might affect you in the future. You make a decision. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, then you just adjust and you continue to move forward. So that's a true entrepreneur. We're the people that are willing to implement the changes, right? So when you go through all this, if you don't reach your goal, don't worry. Use the data to break it down. That's why we broke it down to smaller things. Adjust your goals based on your findings. And last but not least, implement your changes. So paralysis through analysis or failure to implement can be the worst thing going for people. A lot of people will fail to take action, fail to move forward instead of just getting moving. So you need to get moving when you need to get moving. You can't just sit around and say, okay, well, we failed and we're going to use the next few months to figure this out and come back. Because if you do, you're going to really fail quickly because you're going to spend too much time, money, and energy into analyzing the failure versus analyzing the success that you found where you found success, taking a look at the failure and trying to just make a couple changes and continue to go. So some key takeaways I want you to think about for overall what this all represents in the goals. So first off, set big goals. Can't stress that hard enough. Not saying that they got to be, unattainable, but set big goals and be realistic. Take a look around your marketplace. Take a look at what other people are doing and realize what an attainable goal looks like. So as a real estate agent, I showed my agents the work for me recently. A place where you can search the sales volume of different agents. And to their surprise, over 1,000 agents in the state of Massachusetts alone do over $15 million in annual sales. So what they thought was a unicorn is actually common. So sometimes we surround ourselves by what we think is success or what we think is good, but it's because we're willing to shade ourselves from real success because we don't want the burden of, okay, well, that really actually means getting up at 5 in the morning, or that really actually means eating healthy, or that really actually means going for that run, or that really actually means taking that client call on a Sunday because you own the business. That's the big difference when you set big goals is you're going to have to come out from that shade you gave yourself and actually face the music and try to go hard, which, some people can, some people can't. But setting big goals is really going to make your business grow. Do not overanalyze. When it happens, when good or bad happens, don't overanalyze the data. Sometimes there's anomalies that can fool you if you spend too much time analyzing. The data should be clear. Once you see patterns, you'll start to see trends and it'll stick right out to you. When you overanalyze, you'll start to find patterns and trends. There's a difference between seeing them and finding them. And we can find anything we're looking for in data when we have enough of it. Upon failure, fail forward. So just remember, when you fail, it's not the biggest deal in the world. We are perfectly capable of just getting up, brushing off, and getting moving. Now, next one, break down large goals into small time measures to keep an eye on the target. So again, just remember that when you're working, you want to give yourself, okay, I want to sell 12 houses a year, which is one a month. Boom, we're in month 2. I haven't sold 2 houses yet. Well, we're in trouble. We got to figure out what's going on and what's wrong. Why, by breaking it like that, instead of thinking, okay, I sell 12 in a year, and at the end of the year saying I only sell 9, I never paid attention to why I didn't sell the 12. Goals are like destinations on a map. So when you tell someone to drive a car, they don't know where they're going until you tell them where you're going. You say, okay, we're going to 53 West Street, Pembroke. Boom. Now we have a destination on the map. Instead of just aimlessly searching for what you want, you say it's something like, take me to a lake. Well, I'm just going to randomly drive to lakes versus you saying, take me to Stetson Pond in Pembroke. I'm going to head directly to Stetson Pond in Pembroke. So destination on a map, knowing your goals is a way for your business to see where it should head, where it's heading, how is it going, not just in a fashion of the idea of small things, right? It's everything. The more goals you set for each and every level and how you run them will continue to determine your success and how high you can take in a business. I hope you guys enjoyed today's webinar, and next week we're going to be talking about why do I need a business plan. So far, we've already gone through what is a business? Do I have a business or a job? Do I understand delegating tasks? Am I ready to hire? What is a marketing plan? What are KPIs and why do they matter? And we have a lot of modules upcoming here. Very exciting stuff. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the comments. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to do so. I really appreciate it. If you wanted to, you can jump on thoughtscompany.com and you can grab the link there. That will take you over to sign up for the newsletter. So that way there you're getting them in your email when we're having these different meetings. Again, any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. Here's a little bit more information about myself. These are my different channels that we have going on, where you can follow my different companies that we have. 2 different podcasts. Real Facts on Real Estate is gauged towards helping real estate professionals, especially real estate agents, find success in real estate. And home ownership is about buying, selling, and owning homes. Teaches just all the ins and outs, everything from writing an offer to what to do to add value to your home. Give out a lot of great free information on both of those. Last but not least, My name is Shawn Patrick Moloney. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps your business grow. And I look forward to hearing from you not only now, but in the future when you put some of this to action. Love to hear about the success you found after having watched this video. Thank you so much and have a great day.